welcome to the Knitting Traditions Podcast. My name is Inga, and this is my little corner on the internet where I talk about my knitting. I hope you're well. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoy this content. Today I'll be talking about what I'm wearing, what I have finished, current whips, maybe some plans, and then I have some footage at the end from our national day and a beautiful hike in the mountains that I was recently at. So stay tuned for that. I will put information below in the description box about things that I talk about, so look there if you have any questions, or you can message me on Instagram at Knitting Traditions as well. So, I just got home from a 26-hour shift. I'm a little bit tired, but hopefully that helps me talk more slowly and clearly, and I'll try not to forget things. Oops. It is a very gloomy, cold and rainy day today. We've had some beautiful summer-like days in May. If you ever want to visit Norway, because I live on the west coast of Norway, which is the nicest place, we have the mountains and the fjords, but the weather is usually rainy. But May would be the best time to visit, I would say. However, today it's back to cold and rainy, but I get to wear my very cozy knits. I got some candles burning. I made myself some warm coffee. We knitters do know how to make the best out of fall-like weather, don't we? So this is bringing back the knitting mojo big time. I want to knit all the things. I have none of the time, but I want to make it all. So I figured I need to record a podcast when I have this mojo in me, and then hopefully I can knit for a bit afterwards. I'm going to treat myself to that today. Nellie's in kindergarten, so I have a few hours for some me time, much needed me time. So I hope you manage to find yourself a little time slot for you as well today. We can start with what I'm wearing. So on top of my zebra dress, I'm wearing a huge creation of a sweater. This is the Guernsey genser. It's a pattern from Sannes Garn. Now, since I knit this, they have released multiple versions of this garment for female, male, and child in different yarn combinations. So I think they have one in their recycled tweed base, they have a version in their Per Gynt, they have a version with Sunday and silk mohair. So they have like slightly different gauges. And they sell them separately, probably to make more money. I did not use the recommended yarn for this. I used one strand of nutiden, which is an unspun base from Sweden, which is a little bit hard to get your hands on. You should probably follow them, ideally be a patron to buy their yarn, but they do make beautiful yarn. And then I held it with one strand of silk mohair. An alternative to this yarn is this one right here, which I have since bought. This is a hillesvåg yarn. I find hillesvåg unspun to be very nice and soft, and they do ship internationally. Their cakes are held with 2 strands at a time, so you would have to unravel it and separate them if you want to knit like this with a single strand of unspun together with silk mohair. You could also just knit it with 2 strands, but it would be slightly thicker, and I find that the silk and the silk mohair adds durability and strength to the process of knitting with unspun, so it doesn't break as easily, because unspun yarn, you just look at it and it unravels. So, but it holds up really well once it's been knit up. So I really enjoy it, and I want to knit more things in unspun, hence why I have quite a bit of a stash of it right now. Maybe this fall I should Should get cracking on some things that I've been wanting for a long time. Otherwise, I knit the size small to medium, but I'm slightly off gauge. Mine is bigger than that, so probably like the medium large, and it's already quite an oversized garment. So I could fit probably 2 of me in here, at least. But it is just so cozy, and I do not regret it being this big. I did make the sleeves shorter. There was supposed to be another repeat after this, and as you can see, it does have quite a bit of pilling. The silk mohair does help a little bit, but it's still an unspun, very soft yarn, so not like merino silky soft, but like soft for a wool, if that makes sense. I don't find it itchy at all, but yeah, it does pill a bit. But after this, there was supposed to have been another repeat, but it is already down here when I put my sleeves down. So I omitted that and then went to the ribbing, which I may or may not have knit shorter. And here is a close-up if you ever want to see, but honestly, I recommend just trying a garment on to make it fit you, because people do not have the same body, the same length of arms and everything. I'm quite a tall person, so I usually have to knit my sleeves longer, but not for this, since it's such an oversized garment. The sleeves start quite far out on my arm, almost at the elbow, so that is a small modification. If you're not able to get your hands on this pattern from Sannes Garn, you might want to check out, if you're in the States, the Woolly Thistle. I'm an affiliate member of them. I'll put the link below. They usually carry patterns from Sannes Garn and yarns as well. There is lots of dupes to this pattern. There's so many big oversized textured patterns out there. Petite Knit has the Ingrid sweater, I think, and some other ones. And old drops patterns, there's tons of them. Quite beautiful patterns, actually. I've knit a few like way back in the past, as I've been knitting for many years, and one of Matthias's favorite cabled sweaters is actually a drops pattern. So that's a hot tip for free good patterns, or they turn out beautifully, but they might be a little bit tricky to read if you're used to patterns giving you a lot of information. So not that the Sannes Garn patterns give you a lot of information either. But yeah, they're free to check out. And yeah, so that is what I am wearing. Very warm and cozy. And then I have, oops, again, sorry, I need to put my coffee on the other side. I finished one thing, 2 things, but one needs, they actually both need to be blocked. I finished a Sophie scarf. Very exciting, never heard about it before. Yeah, this is the first time you ever see a Sophie scarf, right? I gotta say, I didn't think I'd be a person to knit Sophie scarves, but I just really needed something where I didn't have to think so much, and I knit a small one in a Cashmere Dreams yarn from Lang, and I've actually gotten a lot of wear out of it, because just that little bit of neck warmth. There's, of course, more intricate patterns out there, but I just wanted the garter. And I used a little clip-on stitch marker to mark the row where I either did an increase or decrease, so I didn't have to count. I just made it quite a mindless knit. So this is not the Cashmere Dreams from Lang. This is a merino cashmere silk mix from Angel. I think I showed it in the last episode. I don't have the ball band here now, but I did follow the scarf pattern, because there's a scarf, shawl, and hood pattern that have slightly different increase rates. So this is the smallest or slimmest one, the scarf, and I just knit until I'd used half the amount of yarn and then started decreasing. And for this one I didn't start decreasing early. So I actually used half the amount and then started the decreases. But for some reason, I needed more yarn for the decreased half than I did for the increased half, even though I had divided the grams equally. So one of the ends is not like the other. So it's supposed to look like this, quite long and slim, but I quickly realized that I was gonna run out of yarn. So I couldn't do as many rows to divide the decreases. So I did more of a rapid decrease in order to finish without having to buy more yarn. And I was able to finish, but that's something that I will consider if I make it in the future, to just have a few more grams extra for the decrease half of the pattern. Maybe my gauge changed, I don't know. It's supposed to be the same, but yeah. So played yarn chicken, cheated and won. Who said you can't cheat in knitting? Maybe one of the few places it's acceptable to cheat in my book. So yeah, that is a little scarf, and this is one that I am planning for Nelly to use next fall. It's really her color, and I have the burgundy one, which I really like. So I think if I were to choose which one to put on, I'd probably go for the burgundy. It's what suits my wardrobe the best as well, being a lot of warm tones and autumnal tones, while this is more springy and fits my little girl, who is soon 1.5. Where does the time go? And then I have one more finished but not blocked garment, and that is the summer version of my upcoming pattern, which will be ready for test knitting very soon. I'm currently getting it tech edited, and we're just going over a few little things, and then I'll call for testers on Instagram. But this is the summer version of my Freyr sweater, which is a top-down raglan with different options for the neckline. I recommend the crew neck for the summer version, not the mock neck or turtleneck. It has cables going down the raglans. This is a short sleeve version, so it hits just above the elbow. And then, yeah, there are cables running down this underarm. There are cables running down the side of the body, and then there's a cabled hem going all the way around the body, finishing off with an I-cord bind off. So I wanted to do a summer version just because we're going into summer and it's nice to have options. So the pattern will work from lace weight held double to fingering weight single, sport weight single, or DK single. Everything is knit at a 21 stitch gauge. So this is the blocked swatch. So the cables will open up more once I have blocked this. I was surprised at how little yarn the summer fingering weight version took. Now the body is slightly more cropped for this because it's a summer top and I like to wear high-waisted shorts and skirts, and the sleeves are also shorter, but I used like 1.5 balls of fingering, around 150 grams. So that's not a lot for a size. This is size 3, and I've knit both size 3 and size 4 for me. It just depends on how much positive ease I'm looking for. And then I'll either start a Pearl Soho linen quill version, which is also fingering, for more of like a spring autumnal version, or I might go over to the fennel one. I have a lot of red fennel that I want to make a Christmas sweater with, but that kind of red could work all year around. I really like that bright red, so I might do a turtleneck version along with the test knit once that is running. We shall see. But yeah, I need to block this and then take some photos of it. Maybe I can wear it next time. We shall see. But that's exciting to see how it worked. it was quite interesting to work with this yarn. I didn't say, but this is the felizy punto solaris base, which is a silk linen base, which is quite lovely to work with, and it's a beautiful hand-dyed summer yarn. Because it is such a silk yarn, it has a beautiful drape, but it's also a very dynamic fabric because you can really stretch it out or elongate it. So when it's lying flat and relaxed, it is at gauge, but once I put it on the body, I notice that with gravity, it does grow just a few centimeters in length, making the gauge slightly shorter. So that is something you might want to keep in mind if you use a fingering weight yarn that is as slick as this, that if you do want the very oversized look, maybe go up a size if you're between sizes because of the stretchability in all directions of such a silky yarn at a loose gauge. That's not just for this pattern, that's for any pattern really. So that's just a little observation. And then let's see which to go to next. So I have a beautiful new project bag to show you. I have two new project bags to show you today. So this beautiful creation is from my friend Ida from the Athenian Maker. She's both the Athenian Maker and Athenian Dyer, I think. She dyes yarns botanically, and she also hand sews these project bags. So this bag has first been eco-printed by her with leaves from nature around where she lives. And then she's also botanically dyed the different straps and the lining inside. So this bag, she has several on her website with a pay what you can kind of policy. So in the listing there are discount codes that you can apply if you're not able to pay full price. But I've been using this for 2 weeks now and the quality is really great. And I like that you can wear it on your sleeve and knit as you go. So I've been doing that. I took it paddling or kayaking and it just really fit into the scenery. And I'm going to show you how it looks inside out. I'll just take my whip out and then show you that one shortly. She has also generously included a discount code for her yarns. If you put Knitting Traditions 10, that is the number 10, and you get 10% off. So I can reverse the bag, and then the inside lining is hand dyed botanically by her as well. And it's a color that I really enjoy, and it has these beautiful pockets. I find pockets easier to use on the outside of bags rather than inside, just because it's easier to see what's inside pockets. Maybe I just need glasses eventually, but I really like it and it has a cute little button, and the seams are, to me, invisible, so I can't really see how she managed to sew up this creation, but it's a beautiful bag. And I wanted to show you what I knit with her yarns before. This is something that I knit last summer, which is going to fit Nelly this summer. This is Henry Drakt by either Sandnes Garn or Viking Garn, I think, which is very cute. And this is in her Pima cotton, her organic cotton, which is a DK weight. And just look at how beautifully she's managed to hand dye this with flowers. There's no pooling that I can notice, and it is incredibly soft. I'm not always good with summer yarns because I don't like hard yarns, but both this base from her and this linen silk base from Felizy Punto are lovely to work with. So looking forward to work more with this in the future. Not sure if she has this in her online store right now, but you could always message her on Instagram and ask if she can get more in. I'd be interested in more in the future for sure. Very much looking forward to Nelly wearing this summer. And inside the project bag, I have another Sophie. Yes, I know, boring. But this is a Sophie shawl, so it is bigger. And it's in the Lang Cashmere Dreams, which I'm holding double on 4mm needles. And I have started decreasing. So this is the halfway point. It's not super wide, but it is a lot bigger than the scarf that I knit in burgundy. And I just thought that a black shawl will go with anything. And in the winter, when it is really cold, it might be nice to have a bigger, thicker version. So this one I can already wrap around twice, being only halfway. So I think this is gonna serve its purpose this winter. So this is a project that really does not need to be rushed. It's a lovely yarn if you're very sensitive. I recommend it for necklines. But as all cashmere yarns are on the higher price end, so that is a drawback. But beautiful to work with, beautiful to wear for a little bit of luxury. So that is a whip. Do not know when that will be finished, but no rush. It's not my top priority, so I might take it out of here and put something more colorful in. But I first need another mindless project, 'cause I do need something mindless in between everything else that is on my needles and agenda. 2 more whips, a tiny one in a bag that I sewed last year. And that is a sock. Now, haven't gotten a lot done since last time, but I did knit a few more rounds. So this is my own pattern. It's on Ravelry as the rustic cable socks, and it's a top-down sock construction with 3 braids running down the front, and the side braids twist outwards so they don't go in the same direction, and then there's the middle section, and they are all braided on the same round. I think there's it's either a 3 or a 4 stitch repeat. I can't even remember my own chart. But yeah, it's very repetitive going down. And then the back side is stockinette. And the heel is the kind of heel that my grandmother taught me how to knit, which is similar to a heel flapping gusset, but you do some increases, you knit down, and then you do some decreases in the back to make it rounded, and then you knit the bottom together. You don't do any seaming with a needle. You knit it together, and then you pick up stitches all the way around. So it's easy to modify for a larger instep by knitting the flap longer or doing more increases here if you need more room this way. And then by knitting it longer, you will also be picking up more stitches, which you then decrease at the gusset, and I recommend just decreasing until it has a nice fit on your foot. I always make them very tight because I like a snug sock, but the braids also really help with that because braids act sort of like a ribbing. It cinches things in, and then when you put it on, it kind of opens up and it lies really nicely. So probably I could have gotten away with not making it so tiny on the foot. It's not going to be so tiny when I put it on because of the braids, but I like a snug fit. So almost ready for the toe, and the yarn that I'm using is a yarn that I bought in Paris 2 years ago. Aime, hand dyed in Paris, the cashmerino in the color anemone. It's 75% merino, 15% cashmere, 10% nylon. Really lovely to work with. Usually I don't enjoy the feeling of superwash, but I think the cashmere content in this really softens it up, so it feels quite nice to work with. So I can recommend that base. And the color is beautiful, very spring-like. And then my last whip, before another fun project to show you, is in this beautiful summery bag. This is a creation by my friend Thao from the Knitting Swan. She wrote to me last year, I think, asking about what kind of project bags I'm missing in my life. And we were talking about sort of a weekend bag that would fit a lot to take with you. And this bag doesn't look very big, but it opens up and it is a genius construction. So you can use the code Inga at the Knitting Swan's website for a discount. And then I'm an affiliate member, so I get a little bit of money from her if you purchase from her. I have several of her project bags and they are lovely. We met in Oslo a few weeks ago and had some lovely time in the sun knitting and eating pastries. And inside, I want to show you. So this is the sort of construction so you can like wear it on your hand, and then it opens up and you open with drawstrings the lining that you use to close over your yarn. So this opens up, and then because the bottom is this a rectangle? Is that the name of the shape? It stands like a box on the couch or floor or whatever, triangle, and it opens up to have a lot of space. And then on the inside, I'll take out my 400-gram balls that I've had in here. The inside has pockets for your scissors or needle or gauge rulers. There's four pockets on the inside, and then I'll take out my lip gloss and stuff. And then it has the flat bottom. It's a beautiful linen lining inside. So this one I've been taking with me everywhere. This is my new project to really hyper focus on. And that is another circular blanket from Augustine. This is the Augustine Mini number 5. I have knit 2 of her circular blankets in the past. The number 1, the mini number 1, and then the elderflower blanket, which is a collaboration with We Are Knitters. And then I lost the blanket that I knit, the mini number 1, and that's a bummer. I really liked it for Nellie's naps in the pram, so I've been wanting to knit another one, and I had the number 5 in my pattern library. This one has a thicker gauge, an 18 stitch gauge, whereas the number 1 had a 21 stitch gauge. So this one is knit at 5 millimeters, and I have this beautiful yarn in my stash, which is the Lore. I always need to check the labels. This is the Lore Wool as Story, 100% canned lamb's wool, sourced and produced in England by the Fibre Company. And this is 250 meters to 100 grams, which is the same meterage per 100 grams as the recommended in the pattern, even though this is not the recommended yarn. So I decided, you know what, I've been saving this yarn but never getting around to knitting a cardigan or sweater with it for myself. I even bought more of it in Paris because I was worried I wasn't going to have enough, and then I just haven't gotten around to it. And then I figured if I were to knit the blanket in this, then I would get to see it almost every day, and that would be more satisfying than another garment that may or may not be as loved. So this is not, I'm going to try and stop hoarding yarns for the perfect project and instead use it for things that I actually want to have around me. So I have finished one ball of yarn and I am working on the second chart. So right now it's looking like a deflated nipple because you start at the center and you knit out with increases and charts, and once you block it, it's really going to open up. I'll be a little, there you can not see anything, no. But trust the process, it's going to look beautiful. And then there's going to be a knitted on border and then some heavy blocking involved before this is done. But really enjoying this for evenings where I have a little bit more mental capacity. And yeah, these two projects have really been what I've been knitting on in the past week after finishing those other webs. So those are my main focuses, and then I really do want to cast on something colorful going into summer. But we shall see, we shall see. I have another exciting project to show you. I think it was 2 episodes ago I showed you a kit from Babylon Leather that they sent me to create my own bag. And I have since gotten quite a lot further on this. So Babylon Leather has online kits for different bags, and they send you all the pieces and tools that you need to sew your own bag. So it's real leather. There's several pieces, flat pieces, that you then need to assemble. So the first part was to sew the leather straps together around a tube, and then you needed to sew it together to one of these pieces and then onto the flat piece together. So some parts were a bit tough on my hands because there were several layers to go through. The kit comes with two QR codes, and that is a video without sound, but they show you step by step quite clearly what to do, and their customer service is great and fast with replies. So this is where I am at. Finished the handles, got them on the bag. I've sewn the bottom together with a different stitch, and this went so much faster than the pieces where it was so many layers. So now I'm really excited to get cracking on this, to have a really nice leather bag for myself. It feels really nice and soft, and to be honest, this is gonna be a knitting bag for me as well, because I always have my knitting with me. Can never miss an opportunity to get some knitting done. So that is a current project. I wanted to share the name of the kit. This is the Abbey Lock Bag, which essentially was one of the bigger bags I could find on their website. I don't need one of those tiny little fashion statements. I need space for my yarn, so hence the bigger bag. So yeah, that is all I have been working on since last time. I would love to know what you're knitting on, and also if you have an idea on what I should knit next. If it should be working on my blankets, which are forever lingering, or if I should cast on that really bright red version of my own pattern, which I am very much leaning towards, because that's a color that would make me very happy. Or maybe try and look into a summer pattern, though I do not tend to wear my summer knits as much as my sweaters. So, to be decided. Maybe I need to watch some more podcasts myself for some more inspo. Decisions. Do you want one more mindless knit? Maybe a quick knit, maybe a bigger knit, maybe all the knits. Decisions. We shall see. Anyway, I hope that you're well. I hope that you're making all the things that make you happy. And I hope to talk to you again in not too long, and enjoy the footage coming up, at least from the hike, and if I had some decent footage from our national day where everyone puts on their best clothing, go in parades, eat all the ice cream they can. People party, people do games at schools and stuff with their children, and it's just a lovely day. We spent it going to the parade and then having food with family, and then me and Ellie had to go home so she could sleep, but it was a very nice sunny day, so if I have some footage, I'll include that as well. And then, yeah, I hope to be back soon. Bye!